All right, guys. My people, on this particular one, Datti Ahmed, I can't talk. Waiting go shock you and I. Datti Ahmed don't review so many things for this particular video, but go pick them one by one. One, he talk and say for 2027, he get 2 persons when he go like to support to become the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Guess what? Peter Obi not be the number 1. Peter Obi na number 2. But he not reveal the person. He not reveal the person. He saying the way make the person declare first. He go support the person above Peter Obi. Then he went on to say that ADC coalition, they are deceiving Nigerians. Now no say Datti Ahmed of a talker. This is his 4th video, if I'm not mistaken. When you don't talk about this ADC, that is not part of it. You cannot just cajole us into something. You don't want us to ask questions. You want us to just accept how you want to make it be. He say it's not part of it. Now, I want us to listen to this video carefully, and let's take it from here.
In your own view, the leadership of INEC could be very critical. Nigerians are asking for electoral reforms and looking forward to an election that will bring some level of trust in our democracy. What are your own views about who should be the next lead, who should lead INEC going forward into our critical 2027 elections?
Very simple answer, a credible person. Very simple answer, a credible person. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want, a credible person. Not somebody who would clearly read what the Constitution provides. 25% in at least 2/3 of the states of the Federation and the FCT, and go ahead to breach the Constitution and put Nigeria in what Nigeria is in today. Just one individual. If you recall, I told you, throughout human history, individuals make or break nations. This man is going to be responsible for what has happened, what is happening in Nigeria. It is wrong. I still say it is wrong up till now. Without apology, it's a statement of fact. Another arm of government upheld what he did. I beg to say, as small as I am, by the service of God Almighty in my heart, it is wrong what they upheld.
But you were proven wrong by every institution of state.
We were not wrong.
Well, the court says you were wrong.
No, they have the power to say we were wrong. Now, this is another clarification we have to make. The courts have the power to say you are wrong, even if you are not wrong. And we were not wrong. That election was rigged. And that election, the results up to now are not consistent with the Nigerian Constitution. Anyway, leave that. You asked me who I want is not important. I want a credible person. I would rather we talk about democracy for once. I would rather we talk about the Fourth Republic for once. I would rather we talk about the average Nigerian citizen for once. Because the Nigerian politician, the Nigerian elite, and the Nigerian leaders.
Because our election is at the heart.
Yes.
Because it's a process of choosing a leader. No matter what kind of state that you have, where you don't have the right leader, you're set for a disaster. And that is why it is important for us to get it right in the choice of those who conduct our elections, because it determines how our country goes, because it determines our leaders.
I couldn't agree more with you that our leadership recruitment is all and everything about Nigeria now. And electoral fraud is right now the single most important fact to be addressed in our life as a nation, even beyond insecurity. Insecurity is derived from electoral fraud. The way we have it now, Nigerian election gave birth to the kind of insecurity we have today. But there isn't enough time to discuss it now. Or I can prove it. Corruption is aggravated by the kind of electoral fraud that we have. The destruction of our youth, the destruction of our systems, including the judiciary, these are all guaranteed by the types of elections we hold. So, yes, you couldn't be more correct, and I could not agree on you on anything more than our leadership recruitment is the bane of our problems.
You imagine that either you belong to Labour Party, ADC, PDP, or APC, at the end of the day, Nigeria is Nigeria. And we need to care for the well-being of our dear nation. The trajectory of, first and foremost, of our economy.
Yes.
Are we on the right track? Are we possibly or likely to have be in the right shape of mind in getting things right?
Brilliant question. One of my professors at Harvard Business School, in fact, the director himself, on a goodbye note, he said to me, but I want you to be more patient and tolerant about the way you will be misunderstood because of the way you present. And what you work on in your mind is usually not the typical. I have put that at the back of my mind. Apparently, he's not just the only one who said it. You spoke about the economy. Economic orientation of a young nation way back in 1960, becoming independent from the British Empire that found oil and gas, agric potentials, solid mineral potentials and everything, but then a complicit public system. Now, this is what I have been seeing in the last, not just saying, doing. You go to a doctor, for example, out of 100 ailments, he needs to be 100% sure the particular ailment he's going to treat you for is your problem. Otherwise, you have a bigger problem. A factor of 10,000. Out of 10,000, you need to pinpoint what really is our problem now. And I think what Nigerians are not used to hearing. On the governance side, I told you it was electoral fraud. On the economy side, it is procurement. It sounds strange. I can see how surprised you are. Why am I saying this?
And that's in the heart of the civil service.
Listen, that is at the heart of the nation itself. Development does not exist in nature. You have to make it. To make it means you have to procure, you have to buy it. Efficiency comes into question. The insecurity that we're facing, if you spend $1 billion on security and you get $50 million worth of security, you would definitely have insurgency in the northeast, banditry in the northwest. You would. Where is the balance of 95%? In the pockets of political, they have served political group and individual interests. This is procurement. Let me tell you something so basic because of lack of time. Everybody knows this story. David and Goliath. Everyone knew it was a lost battle. But how did it happen? David procured the winning formula, the stone. And how did he? He took time to go and find it. He kept it. Have we procured our development? Have we procured our future? No. Are we efficient in doing that? No. Why are we not? Corruption. How is this corruption happening? Weak procurement. Why is there weak procurement? Personal interest, group interest, political interest, electoral interest.
Transactional way of life.
Thank you. Now, do you have leaders who will be able to remove these interests?
It does look like we are largely divided. And a people divided, or a nation divided, can never see development.
Thank you, Shehu.
How do we mend the divided fiber of our nation?
Some people call it educated. They said the people are not educated. And while I will not outrightly disagree, I keep saying that you don't need to be educated to know the difference between right and wrong. I went to the extent of like breaking down what it was. And what I come up with is some kind of a pyramid. I'm sorry I'm not being academic, but because it is my way of life, I can take a minute or two here to discuss it. At the rock bottom is basic literacy of a society or of a nation. Just above it, you have awareness, civic awareness. Then above it, social enlightenment. Above it, you have what we call education. And above it, you have what we call professionalism. And this is the way almost all societies are structured. What is desirous is that there be no gap. If you take the society for a square, that all of that square should be filled by the percentage of population that are literate, aware, enlightened, educated, and professional. But, I mean, you can't afford to have, historically, there is a small number of medical doctors, engineers, architects, PhD holders, and all that, you know? You can't have 100% of the population, and that's why it goes up as a pyramid. The actual point you're talking about is that level of civic awareness. Is how literate is the Nigerian society to unite? Not very good. So you see, you are challenged to even the very next level of how civic aware is the Nigerian society to unite. And it is very close to the fundamentals of democracy that I've been wanting to talk about. Let's go back in time and let's open up the conversation. In the 80s and 90s, when the Western world was calling on African and Caribbean and some Asian countries, not just calling, sometimes to the extent of sanctions and all that, for them to democratize. Put that on one side, and then contrast with the very stable, peaceful, and prosperous countries of the Middle East, the monarchies. Most American presidents, after becoming president, among the first place they go is the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and all the rest are monarchies. You reported it. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump was there. There wasn't a single democracy. I plotted on a graph the stability and the type of government. This was in 2022. And in the Middle East, all the monarchies are stable and prosperous and peaceful. All the either dictatorship or military or something else were under occupation of militias. All of the Middle East, without exception. Africa, Nigeria inclusive, had to swallow that pill. It was a sweet pill, turning out to be very bitter, I regret to say. Democracy is sweet. The arguments behind it are sweet. But democracy is also delicate. And democracy is for the people who can practice it. Now, let me finish. I'm not giving you a lecture. Let me finish.
No, I have to wrap up. And I'm really? Looking at, I have to wrap up. And I'm looking at the issue of corruption.
Yes.
And maybe in one sentence, how do you think we can stop it?
Procurement.
That you mentioned earlier.
Yes. Maybe you don't know this. Way back in 1999, we're not talking of politics now. You are asking somebody who is deeply involved. I was behind the documents that led to what you see today as BPP. Yeah. So you're asking me what I know. Well, I'm not claiming to know more than anybody, but the evidence is there.
When we handle it well, when we do it well, we will rid our nation of corruption.
Just mark what I said. Development does not exist in nature. You have to make it.
All right.
You have to buy your security. You have to buy your peace. You have to create your prosperity. And if you are deliberately wasteful in doing that, like we are, kilometer of road, bed space in hospitals, the public institutions, universities that we know. For example, way back in 2010, 2011, somebody creates a university with 2.5 billion, and somebody else in government is starting a public university with 10 billion in a temporary site. These are all procurement issues. So that is corruption. Yeah. Let me repeat, when you have leaders that remove personal, group, and political interests from governance, then you are beginning to fight corruption.
So
now, what happens now is intrinsically, Nigerian leaders come in by default, and Nigerian people seem to have accepted it. Once you have taken power over the Nigerian state, give the contracts the way you want them, share the oil wells the way you want them, make the appointments the way you want them. Do it, and no Nigerian will come out to oppose you on that.
All right.
And this is not democracy. In fact, even the parliamentarians are silenced through different means, including threat of not being re-election and many other things. And those of us who are not in parliament, we see all sorts of threats to our personalities, to our own persons, to our own businesses, and all that.
All right. Yeah. We need to go now. But would you be contesting in 2027?
Good question. If Nigeria is still around, and there is an electoral system to follow, my love for Nigeria is undying. Mark that. I will appropriately associate with the groups and individuals I think are like-minded, and will try to rescue Nigeria.
But you would like to still run with Peter Obi?
Absolutely.
But if it's not coming to Labour Party, you are not willing to leave the Labour Party.
If you had heard what I was saying on air 2 months ago, there are 2 individuals I will succumb to. The first one has not said so. I will not say it on his behalf. The second one is Peter Obi. I'm always with Peter Obi until he decides not to.
Who is the first person?
I just told you that it's not my place to say it. Sooner
no, but I mean, you're not asking him, but at least he has a name, he has an identity.
He has an identity.
Is that Rotimi Amaechi?
No.
All right.
But Rotimi Amaechi is a good guy. He's a good person.
You can deputize him.
By the way, why do you think I have to be a deputy?
No, because there is an arrangement that you followed,
yes,
which meant that you
deputize
the zoning arrangement.
Yeah.
So that's why I
But don't keep looking at me as a deputy, please.
All right.
Yeah, but Rotimi Amaechi is good. Then you can forgive all past. He's one of those you can forgive because I think he's someone that can always adapt.
All right.
Peter Obi is always welcome. I am still paying a heavy price for going to call for unity in Labour Party, and I'm not regretting, and I'll remember it. I want to unite Labour Party, let him come back. The ADC and stroke coalition people over-assumed that by just mentioning we're going to form a coalition, everybody should not ask any question, just come in. I will not be one of those. I will ask the right questions, and I want you to give me the right answers before you convince me to go and repeat the same. Look, removing a government is no problem. As big as you see Tinubu is, as big as you see him, he can be defeated. Easily, he can be removed. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's not the problem. The problem is what is going to follow. And I don't want us to repeat 2015. Form the coalition, deceive the whole world that here is a credible government that's coming, and then bring in the worst government Nigeria has ever seen.
Senator Datti Babahama, thank you so much indeed for your time today.
Una know say Datti Amen a person we everybody want like to listen to. On this one, I don't want to talk, but I don't know what you think. But I would like to read from you. This is NAIJA Watch Media. Join us every day, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Let's continue to talk about the things that's affecting you and I. Take care, guys, and bye for now.